Alright, I'm here with a look at my Super Nintendo collection, which is sitting right now at 97 games and consistently growing. As you've seen, if you check out my last few pickup videos, I've been picking up a lot of boxes and then for real cheap, and then getting games for real cheap of, kind of mid-tier, no one really cares about games. So it's been growing. I'm sure it'll probably pass 100 by the end of the year, but I figured I'd get into my collection now because my last one was quite a while ago at this point. Um, my last one was quite a while ago at this point. Either 2014 or 2015, I had a small fraction of this many games, and I was still doing I don't know, the shaky camera. I'm holding the camera in one hand. I don't know. So I'm trying to, weed those out and get some more updated collection videos up there. Those will always remain on the channel. I'm not going to take them down because I like to gauge how my collection's grown and everything. But I figured it's time for an update, so I'm going to just jump right in. First with my complete in-box games. I'll start with my better complete in-box games. These aren't even really my better complete in-box games. Most of them are, but there's a couple in there that are, whatever. And then I'll go to the games that are less meaningful. Aladdin, the Capcom Aladdin, which is the best version, 16-bit version of the original Aladdin. The Genesis version is not as good. I'm putting that out there right now. Donkey Kong Country 2, Diddy's Conquest. I actually got the box. My cousin had all his old Super Nintendo boxes that he had from when he was a kid, and some 64 ones too. So I ended up actually getting this in the manual, and I had the card already, so I got a complete copy of that. Looking to get 1 and 3 complete as well. I have the cards for both of those, as you'll see. Final Fantasy 2. This thing's really nice. It's a little bit of wear at the top, but I mean, it's complete. Everything. I love these old boxed RPGs for the Super Nintendo. They're always kind of pricey now, but I love to get them because they just have this weight to them. You can't tell by the video, obviously, but they just have this weight to them because there's so many manuals and posters and maps in it. Really great stuff. But yeah, Final Fantasy 2, or as it's well known now, it's Final Fantasy 4, of course, classic. Other Final Fantasies, Final Fantasy 3. Once again, has a great weight to it. Kind of on my pile of shame, not a game that I've played a whole lot of. I have a Super Nintendo Classic now, so I think when I get some free time, I'm going to try to play through Final Fantasy 6, which 3 over here, and actually play it all the way through, because I'd like to play that one, because it's usually everyone's favorite Final Fantasy, and I have only played a few hours of it. Not everyone's favorite Final Fantasy Mystic Quest. This one it's even disappointing in the fact that it's not as weighty as the other ones, but just a really basic kind of baby's first RPG, which probably actually isn't the worst idea for them to put a game out like this in the Americas during that era, but just really not a very engaging game because it's a little too simple. Zelda: Link to the Past, classic. I got this at MagFest. When was that? 2014 when I went to MagFest. Yeah, so had this a while now, but yeah. I mean, there's not much to say that hasn't been said about Link to the Past. An absolute classic. One of the best Zelda games. Probably my favorite of the 2D Zelda games still to this day. Mega Man X, a great game. This box copy is real nice that I have. Most of my box games are from my local game, like trade-in store. It's like a chain called The Exchange. That's where I got my Final Fantasies and most of my 64 box games too, if anyone wants to know who doesn't keep up with the channel or anything. I don't know, they always get really nice copies of games in that people are trading in. And then I just use trade credit from, doubles I have and stuff to get this stuff. But yeah, this is real nice. I paid a really good price for this. I don't remember what it was. My Final Fantasies, I just should have mentioned that. I've only paid, I think, Final Fantasy 2 was, I think they were 70 and 80. 2 was 70, 3 was 80. But they're both complete, which was a real steal. And then I used trade credit, so I got for less than that. Real good deal. But yeah, Mega Man X is an awesome game. I'd love to get X2, X3, and those are pricey. I don't have those even cartridges of them in 7 and all that. One of the greatest masterpieces of all time, Rap Jam Volume 1. There was never a Volume 2 because everything they could have ever done with Rap Jam they did in Volume 1. It was just that great. This is a game with a bunch of different 90s rappers. I mean, you can see them right here. Warren G, Public Enemy, Queen Latifah, Naughty by Nature, Yo-Yo, LL Cool J, so many good ones. But for some reason, there's just like 2 songs in this game, and they're like really generic hip-hop beats. They're not even like how Rock and Roll Racing does, like 16-bit versions of like classic rock songs. No, it's just that. I don't know. Roadrunner, Death Valley Rally. I got this at a flea market for like $5 complete. Sunsoft made it, so it might be actually decent. They made some decent platformers back in the day, but I haven't really checked it out. Kind of a hidden gem here, Smart Ball. This game's pretty cool, actually. I got this. I actually got this at the exchange, like I mentioned, for only $5. So complete. So that was a real steal. But yeah, this game is actually kind of an interesting little 2D platformer. And it's kind of a hidden gem. It's not anything that'll blow your mind, but I'd say check it out. It was actually published by Sony back in the day, PS1 days. This I got at East Starland, this store out in, I believe it's in Virginia or Maryland. I don't know. I've been there a few times. It's a cool store. They also online presence mostly is what they're known for. But Space Invaders, this is actually sealed with their HSEAM and everything, new sealed. I just thought it'd be cool to have something sealed like that. So Street Fighter 2, which I don't know. I'm kind of like a fighting game normie, so I'm not too into fighting games. I like Smash Brothers, obviously, but Street Fighter 2 is a classic. I mean, it's impossible not to like Street Fighter 2. Yeah, I got this one for I think $10 at the exchange complete, and this one's weighty as well. It has a bunch of stuff in it too. Super Alfred Chicken, another one of those games where I got the box from my cousin and then just kind of put the game together over time. Yeah, I don't. When are we gonna get a Alfred Chicken revival? If we can have Bubsy back, why can't we get Alfred Chicken back? Supernova, another game that I got the box from my cousin. It's a trend here, and then I had the hardest time finding the cart for this game. I went to, in the time I was looking for the cart to this game, I went to I don't know, several conventions, including Too Many Games, and I don't remember if I was looking for this game when I went to Con Bravo. And I also went to a variety of other smaller conventions that are still large, though, like the Cleveland Classic Gaming convention and just other ones that they hold around my area. And I could not find this game cartridge for the life of me. I looked in the exchange. I had them actually look in the exchange database to see if any stores in the whole chain had it, and they would just ship it. They didn't even have that, so I had the hardest time finding this game. I eventually gave up and won it for a pretty fair price on eBay. But yeah, this game's cool. Yeah, I mean, it has nice. I like the sprite work in it. It's real nice. Super Castlevania 4. I got a steal on this too. I think it was like $35 complete. From a store that used to be in my area that closed because it was terrible, called Buybacks. But they used to every once in a while price their they would, if they got anything in, which they opened up right next to exchange, so they never did, but if they got anything in, they'd price box games the same as what they go for loose, so you'd end up picking stuff up like this. It smelled really bad of smoke, but after like a month of dryer sheets, I got it out. Tasmania, I got the box from my cousin, got the game for like $5 at a convention. Not bad. This is an interesting one. This is a Yoshi Safari, but if you can look closer, I've gotten it off a lot for the most part, but someone in like Sharpie marker wrote Super Mario World, crossed out the Yoshi Safari if you can see it there, and then wrote Super Mario World on it. So I mean, they must have gotten this game and then just were really angry that it wasn't Mario World and that it was Yoshi Safari. I don't know. I'd love to know the actual story behind that, but that's one of those things that you'll never find out. Some other games not quite as interesting. A lot of these are from a garage sale that I got last summer, where I got a bunch of boxed Super Nintendo games in a boxed system for $25. The games weren't anything special, but I mean, I'll point them out as I go through this pile. This was one of them. Tecmo Super Bowl 3 Final Edition. Super Tennis, another one of them. Beavis and Butthead, another one of those that were in there. Tecmo Super Bowl. Is that the last one of them? Yeah, and Tecmo Super Bowl. So those were nice. And then I got a system in like Super Punch Out and some other games in there. So it was a nice slot for $25 for sure. Other games I got these for $3 each at the exchange, just because they were complete Super Nintendo games, nothing too interesting. Vegas Stakes, which actually was made by, if I'm not mistaken, this was made by HAL Laboratories. Yeah, so that is cool. The game is published by Nintendo. It looks like it was made by HAL, which is interesting. I didn't know that they made this game until I was looking at it one day after I picked it up. And Caesar's Palace. Nothing too interesting there. Another game, Judge Dredd. This one's a real turd, but I got it for like $5 complete. Batman Forever. This game is real bad. Moving on with some other, just to finish out the box games I have. Foreman for Real and Wing Commander, neither of which I have any real experience, any real, interesting things to talk about or real experience with them. But that's all for my complete games. I'll move now into my cart-only library, of which I have a good amount. Starting off with The Adventures of Dr. Franken, which I got this with a garage sale lot where I got a box Super Nintendo, a copy of Donkey Kong Country, and a copy of Super Bowling for the N64, along with this, for $5. That was one of my best garage sale finds. If you're new to the channel and don't interested in hearing about my garage sale finds, I have a whole video series of all my pickups, and I found a lot of good stuff over the years. So if you're new and this is your first video of mine, I'd recommend you check those out if you're interested in that. Some games that I got, and this is another good lot that I got with. This had NES and Super Nintendo games, notably Mega Man 5 was in there, and Mega Man 6 was in there, and also they were all $1 each, and I got these were in here as well. Aerobiz Supersonic and Aerobiz. So I don't really know what those games are. I forgot to ever check them out. Someone tell me what those are. Animaniacs, which is actually a pretty decent Konami platformer. Batman Returns. This is a pretty cool, another Konami game. This is a pretty good side-scrolling beat 'em up. So I would check that out. It's not too expensive. Track down a copy if you don't, or if you have it and haven't played it, I would check it out. Battle Clash. This is a Super Scope game. I don't have a Super Scope, but I don't know. I've ended up with it. I don't know. Bill Walsh College Football. A real exciting, real masterful game. One of the games you just have to play. Bulls versus Blazers. Yeah, I have some sports games. I don't buy sports games actively, but if they end up in a lot that I pick up, I'll keep them if they're in good shape. Tiny Toons Buster Bust Loose. I guess this should probably be under Tiny Toons, but I put it under Buster. This is another like half decent platformer too. Konami was doing good work back in the day. Them and Capcom made some decent licensed platformers. Contra 3 Alien Wars. That was in the same one that I got Aerobiz in. Contra, tough as nails, but those games are cool. I like those. Daffy Duck something. I don't know. Sunsoft made it. Sunsoft seemed to make a lot of those Looney Tunes games, so maybe they're alright. I have never really tried them. I got Donkey Kong Country 1 and Donkey Kong Country 3, which I never find this game. It's bizarre. This copy I have here is the only copy I've ever found of this game. I found this at a Goodwill years ago now. Yeah, I like both of these games. I think 2 is my favorite. This might be controversial. I think 1's my least favorite of those, which is weird, but those games are all fun. Emmett Smith Football. James Bond Jr. If I don't say anything about some of these games, I just don't really have anything to say about them. Like, I don't have anything to say about John Madden. Football 93. The Jungle Book. Jurassic Park. I grew up with the one on Genesis. I don't know if this is the same game. I remember liking the one on Genesis as a kid, but I don't know. Ken Griffey, Major League Baseball, back when Nintendo used to have their own kind of sports game division. Seems like weird times to think about that. Another Ken Griffey there. Winning run. Killer Instinct, which, if I'm going to be honest, I don't really care for Killer Instinct. I know I said I'm not really a fighting game fan, and I'm not, but I don't know. Killer Instinct seems more like a product of its time than anything, really important. I know that they came out with a new one on Xbox that I know people like, but I don't know. Lemmings, which is, the Sunsoft classic. A fun little game. Nothing, mind-blowing. It's all right. Lion King. I hate the stupid Lion King game. I had this game on Genesis as a kid. It's so hard, but it's like not fun hard. It's like bad hard. It's not. Ugh. I hate this game. Same with the Toy Story game. I think I have that on Super Nintendo too, but I still have my Genesis copy as a kid, and man, I hate that game. FIFA Soccer. I don't know why that's above Lion King, but it should be in alphabetical order. But it looks like I don't know. I don't know how Lion King got there. Huh. Did I put it under Disney's Lion King, maybe? I don't know. F-Zero, a classic. I can't believe they're not really doing anything with F-Zero. Because it's a real fun racing series. Especially the GameCube one. But if you're looking for an F-Zero now, I would say get a Fast Racing Neo on Switch, because that game's cool. Gun Force. Home Improvement. I got this at a flea market. I was on vacation in Virginia Beach area, and I got this at a flea market around there for $5. This game is surprisingly, it's not horrible, it's not good by any means, but it's just weird how it's like this game based on the sitcom Home Improvement with Tim Allen, and it's like this weird game where you're fighting dinosaurs, and I don't know. I actually played like a good portion of this game and I died, but it's weird. It's like a fun novelty game. It's also kind of uncommon, but The Incredible Hulk, one of those games that's, so-so. It's kind of standard fare for a licensed platformer at the time. It's not bad, but it's not anything exciting by any means. Metal Combat, another Super Scope game. Mickey's Ultimate Challenge, which I used to have this game as a kid too. It's real for Genesis. It's real simple. Kind of, I don't know. I never hear anyone talk about it. It's not really noteworthy or anything, but I used to play it a lot as a kid. Power Rangers, which is actually a pretty fun beat 'em up. I don't have any affinity for the Power Rangers. I never cared about Power Rangers as a kid, but it's actually a real fun beat 'em up. So. Monopoly. There's Monopoly's on everything. I think Monopoly at this point. Mortal Kombat 2, which they finally actually made there we go. They finally actually made a good version of Mortal Kombat for Super Nintendo, although I don't know if there's really even such thing as a good version of Mortal Kombat, because those games are the old games are so stiff. I don't really care for Mortal Kombat. At least the old ones. Never really played any of the new ones. Miss Pac-Man. NBA Jam, which is one of the more fun sports games out there. Definitely more interesting than like NBA Live 95 or NBA Live 97, but it doesn't take much to be more interesting than that. All right. Moving through here. All right, let's see here. NFL Quarterback Club 96. A real gem. Pack Attack, which I don't remember which game this is. I genuinely don't remember what game that is. I know I've tried it out before, but I don't. That's weird. Pink Panther Goes to Hollywood. Pinocchio. I don't know if this is one of the good licensed Disney platformers or just one of the ones that kind of exists. It's not one of the Capcom ones, so probably decent. I don't know. Saturday Night Slam Masters by Capcom. Scooby-Doo Mystery, another Sunsoft game. I've never tried this one, but I don't, at least to my knowledge, I don't think I have. Maybe I have. Yeah, oh yeah, I think I did. It was just standard fare. Shaq Fu, Gem. I love the existence of Shaq Fu. I don't know. It's so stupid, but it's great. Sim City, a classic. I think at this point there's a better way to play Sim City, but than the Super Nintendo version. But you know, still a classic. The Simpsons Bart's Nightmare. That game's no good. Ugh. Spider-Man and Venom Maximum Carnage. Usually I see this game in like the red cartridge, but I must have gotten like a later release version or something that's just in a plain old gray cartridge. I got this in a real nice lot that was $50, and it had a bunch of really good NES and Super Nintendo games, and probably one of the best card-only games I have in my whole collection was from that lot. So I will, when I get to that, I will point that out. But yeah, Spider-Man and X-Men Something's Revenge. What does that say? Arcade's Revenge. LJN. So I don't know. Yeah, this was in that lot too with Maximum Carnage, Sunset Riders, which is kind of, I don't know, pricey. I don't know really why. It's a pretty cool beat 'em up. It's pretty fun. I probably wouldn't pay what it goes for now, which I think is $70, maybe $80. I don't remember. But it's a fun beat 'em up for what it's worth. I just don't know if I would pay its full price, asking price for it. But when you get it at a garage sale in a whole lot for $50, you can't really complain. Super Batter Up. That was actually in that lot with all those boxed games that I got for $25. There was a couple loose games. That was one of them. Along with like Super Punch Out was in there too. Super Battle Tank and Super Battle Tank 2. Surprisingly, I've never played those ones. I don't know. Super Off-Road. Alright, getting down to the last pile here, so. Super Play Action Football. Super Punch Out, which, you know, it's a lot like Punch Out. These games are fun. I don't know. These games are great. The one on the Wii they made, it was pretty great too. But I don't know. This is the one I probably have the least experience with. I'm not good at any of them. Even the Wii one's pretty tough, but I'm no good at the NES one or this one. But yeah, this is probably the one I know the least. But you know, still a classic. Super Mario All-Stars, and as well, I have Super Mario All-Stars plus Super Mario World, which I got in that lot with Sunset Riders and. You know, all the games I got there. So some of them I don't even remember. But yeah, this is probably one of the best. This is probably one of the best cartridges in existence. With, you know, Mario 1, 2, 3 plus the Japanese 2 and Mario World. You really can't go wrong with this pack here. But this is great. All these games. I love the All Stars version of the NES Marios. It's really great, kind of remastered version. And all those games are great. You know, I mean, you can't go wrong. You really can't go wrong with Mario, especially, you know, the main platformer series. You really just can't go wrong. And then, of course, I also have some other Marios here. Super Mario Kart. This was an old Goodwill find from forever ago when you used to be able to find, like, cartridge games at the Goodwill. Super Mario Kart, I don't know. If I'm going to play Mario Kart, I'm going to probably play, like, Mario Kart 8. Or something, or Double Dash. I'm probably not going to go back to the classics, to, you know, Super Mario Kart. I don't know. But it's still a real important game, and I mean, it started a real big franchise. Who doesn't love Mario Kart? Got here Super Mario World, which of course is a classic. Probably one of my all-time favorite 2D platformers ever. I mean, it's still incredible how good this game is even now, when so much else has come out since then. But Super Mario World is still stellar. We got the Super Star Wars games here. Super Star Wars, the first one. Super Empire Strikes Back. and Super Return of the Jedi. And if I'm gonna be honest, I don't really care too much for these games. They're kind of just like brutally hard for the sake of being brutally hard. They're not bad, but I don't really care for them. If I'm gonna play something on Super Nintendo, it's probably not gonna be my first choice. Super Tennis, but that should be in the box. I must have an extra copy of that. Urban Strike, which I don't know. All right, getting down to the last few here. What does this even say? Tecmo Super NBA Basketball. Move the camera there. This is a disaster. Wow. Sorry about that. Turtles in Time. Turtles 4. Turtles. I don't, just like the Power Rangers, I don't really have a huge affinity to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They were kind of before my time, and then after my time, I kind of fell in this gap where turtles weren't relevant. Were relevant in like the 80s, and then they got relevant again kind of recently when the new show came out, maybe a couple of years ago now. I don't know, but yeah, they weren't too relevant in my time, so I don't really have an affinity to the Turtles. But Turtles in Time's a great game. Like if I'm gonna fire up the Super Nintendo and just have an evening where I'm gonna play some Super Nintendo games, that's definitely at the top of the list. That's a real fun beat 'em up. UN Squadron. This is a pretty cool shooter by Capcom. So you can get that reasonably cheap too, I think now. So it's probably worth picking up. Word Tris, which is kind of like, as they describe it, it's Tetris with words. So Wolverine Adamantium Rage, another LJN Marvel game. So don't know about that one. And last, X-Men Mutant Apocalypse, which this game's pretty cool. I like this one. Capcom did it, so Marvel like teamed up with Capcom at some point. I don't know why. I don't know if LJN was before or after, but I mean, stick with Capcom, guys. They were killing it back then. But yeah, that's it for my Super Nintendo collection. Another game that I know I have, but I can't find is a copy of Nigel Mansell's Racing or something, complete in box, that I got for $1.99. I don't know where. I think that's in one of my storage bins, and I have a lot of stuff in storage right now as we're trying to rework my game room, so I don't have that. I don't I don't know, but pretend that was in the video, because whatever. But that's it for this pickup video, this collection video. If you enjoyed it, leave a like. Make sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram, both at Objo Gaming. Make sure to subscribe if you want to check out my other videos, if you want to be notified when I have a new video coming out. And check out, if you're new to the channel, because I know these videos, these collection videos, get a lot of new people drawn in. Check out my pickup videos if you're interested in seeing. I do videos where I go to, I show my pickups from, the last whatever, usually it's about 2 weeks to a month. And I talk about, kind of tell the story of how I got some of this stuff. Check out the videos that come out during the summertime. They're usually pretty good garage sale videos. So I might do like a best of playlist on the channel soon. So all right, yeah, leave a comment with some of your favorite Super Nintendo games. If I haven't played one of these games, I missed something, and it's a game you like, make sure to let me know. I know I'm missing some games like Super Metroid and Chrono Trigger and Secret of Mana, but I've played some of those games before. So I'd like to thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Sorry about the phone.